All right, one card on the bottom for Kaplan. Delver. Delver is good. Yeah, so these players played earlier in the event. If you're watching the live stream and have been here with us, we saw that match earlier. Kaplan won that one. Here's a snuff out on Delver. Okay, the phone didn't get updated yet, but that's okay. If it... Okay, there it is. There's a second Delver for Kaplan.
3.
All right, we're going right after it. Let's battle. Force of Will, pitching Brainstorm on Delver number 2. Players are going right after each other early on in this game. Pitching Brainstorm. It's a big card getting pitched to Force. 4 cards in Herman's hand. Herman putting a lot of value on this Delver. How much does Kaplan want to protect it if there is protection available? Wow. Force pitching Daze. Dave reading the situation that this Delver seems really important to my opponent. I'm going to protect it. I guess. Delver's on the board.
Sure.
All right, here's a Brainstorm for Herman. It resolves. We've said this multiple times over the last couple of streams, but I'll say it again. These players are trying to get under Bowmaster with their cantrips. Try to fire them off before Bowmasters are online, if possible. And develop a game plan for the late game Murktides. If it comes to that, and a Murktide hits the board on your opponent's side and you don't have a way to deal with it, you lose the game. All right, plays a Watery Grave. Shadow deck does deal damage to itself, as all of you know, and the Death Shadows can get really big. Now a Thoughtseize. Last card revealed as a Volk. So Dave Kaplan out of resources here. Robert says, how do we rate Shadow versus Bowmaster? Is the token massively impactful? Not really sure what you're asking. Is which token impactful?
Oh, 3.
3 cards in Herman's hand. Kaplan trying to figure out how to not lose this game. Taking a look at the top cards of the deck for Ponder. Going to keep them there. Draw a card. Has a Volk in hand. Can now shuffle if needed, which is powerful. Herman has enough cards in the graveyard to potentially cast a Murktide. And based on Kaplan's hand as of a moment ago, that would be a pretty big problem for Kaplan, wouldn't it? 7/7 Murktide. All right, just drops the land and passes. One card in Kaplan's hand. We don't know what it is. It just was found off Ponder. There is a land to protect against Daze, and here's a Murktide that will resolve.
Sure.
All right, 7/7 Murktide is in there. Let's see if Kaplan fetches now. It's pretty good.
On that upkeep, all fetch.
Kyle with a great question. Is there a viable prison deck in Legacy? I guess that's a complicated question. I mean, lands is considered by some people to be like a prison deck, but if you mean decks with like Chalice, Initiative is probably the best one right now of the prison-y, stompy decks. But Mono Red Prison does get some results here and there. All right, so wasted on the upkeep is the Underground Sea. Kaplan, he's a good draw.
That's fine.
There is something to racing Murktide with Bolt. Herman is at 7. There's a Mishra's Bauble. A little bit risky to draw extra cards with Bowmasters flying around, but it's going to bobble Herman. The card is Wasteland.
I'll pass. Draw turn. Yep.
All right. Successfully drew a card without a Bowmaster flashed in. 2 cards in Kaplan's hand. Delver stayed back. Now a Brainstorm for Herman. No threat of Bowmaster. Wasteland pretty good here.
Blue. Pass the combat. Sure. Attack for 7.
All right, attacking for 7. Kaplan go down to 11.
Pass turn.
All right, here's the backup plan, I guess, of beating Murktide with a Lightning Bolt. At least in a way. Herman goes down to 1. A Bowmaster could potentially end the game. Bobble you. Island. Island's not very scary.
Pass. Draw during your upkeep. On your end step. I'm gonna swamp cycle. Sure.
Okay, end step, swamp cycling, Troll of Khazad-dûm. Gets a basic swamp.
Tap. No, that's tap.
Okay, whatever. Asking about main deck graveyard hates. The mono black Helm decks do have main deck ley lines. Ley line of the void, that is. Endurance will turn up here and there.
You stop a blue for me. On there? Sure. Shut up.
There's also some decks now running Canoptic Scarab Swarm, as those of you that have been watching our streams very carefully are aware. Some of you are still getting caught off guard by that card. And that's fine with me for now.
Good.
All right, Murktide had to stay back on defense.
Murktide, delve.
Another Murktide. That's pretty good for Herman.
Yep. For combat. Attack 49. I think.
Is it worth it to jump here? 4/4 Murktide on defense. 7/7/1 attacking.
I'll block. Sure. Pass. Yeah.
All right, game 1 goes to Herman. Up a game here in the first round of top 8.
I'll keep it. Good.
All right, Grief pitching Fatal Push. Maybe going to attempt a scam here. We'll see. Grief is on the stack. Evoked.
No, cycle.
All right, Cycling Lorien revealed in response to Grief. All right, a look at the hand. Pyroblast, double Bowmaster, Murktide, double Underground Sea. Interesting. What is the choice? It will depend. I can't see all of Herman's hand. It looks like there's a Hydroblast in there. All right, Pyroblast selected. Now going to fetch.
Well, I don't know. I stopped keeping computer and just instead of 12. I think that's just one thing.
Place was mostly cleared out by the time top 8 started getting played. There was a couple of tables in the back of the store with people playing Commander or something, but everybody left in the store, as you can see in the top left of your screen, was just spectating these matches very quietly, very well behaved. All right, the reanimated Grief takes Murktide, double Bowmaster, and now one Underground Sea left in Kaplan's hand.
Bowmaster. Good with the ace. Good.
Philmatic told me to vacate the top 8 area. Were you there, Philmatic? Yelling at me? I don't know. People yell at me at Magic events all the time, so I really can't tell.
Sure.
All right, here's a Ponder for Herman. Bowmaster got dazed. There was a loud noise, and then somebody asking, "Is everybody okay?" I have no idea what happened off camera. Something dramatic happened. All right. Another Bowmaster hits play. On today's stream, we've seen quite a few. Someone rolled too many dice. Yeah, Grief's one weakness when compared to Unmask is that it's unable to target. You're unable to target yourself. Another argument could be made that your opponent can reanimate your Grief and make you discard a card, which is kind of annoying. All right, we're double blocking Grief here, losing a Bowmaster. 6/6 Murktide on the battlefield for Herman.
6/6. I'll fetch on my upkeep. Yep.
A 6/6 Herman for Murktide and a 6/6 Murktide for Herman, something like that. Six Murktide needs to be beaten. Herman is at 9. I don't think there are any dogs here. All right, passing the turn.
Combat. Yep. After 6.
Thoughtseize takes a DRC.
Good.
All right, a 6/6 Murktide. Herman's hoping to take it all the way. Attack for 6.
Pass.
That gets the scoop. Herman wins the match. GG's.